Hey, welcome back to yet another episode of the Four Train Podcast. We are here, Israel Navarro and Anzo, and we're going to talk about something very interesting. I know a lot of you guys say, why don't the Yankees go after Juan Soto? But I'm going to put it this way. What if the Yankees drop Aaron Judge for that way when Juan Soto becomes a free agent in 2024, they go after him? Now, this is a what-if situation. We know Aaron Judge obviously is on his last season with the New York Yankees. He is looking for an extension. Obviously, he's a candidate for around $200 million for 7 years or max with an option to get 8 years. We do see that in Aaron Judge. He does want that. We already heard recently on a current podcast with CC Sabathius that if it is his last year with the Yankees and he has to move on, great. But here's the thing. Juan Soto has a great sex appeal to him. I guess that's the best way I can put it. He's beautiful. Why? Because right now, currently at 25 years old, he is a former World Series champion. He's already did it on the big stage with the Nationals. But interestingly, he said no to the extension that the Nationals offered him of $350 million. This is now an interesting thing. That means we don't know what's coming out of the lockout, if they are going to raise the luxury tax or not. But it is well known that if he is in that position, he is a lot younger than Judge. You can get a 10-year out of him, which means that he could be 37, 38 by the end of that deal, and it makes him more appealing. But this is the one catch you have to take consideration. If he did not accept that offer of $350 million, and if the Yankees go into a bidding war, because once he hits that free agency, he's going to be the hottest free agent for that season. He is going to ask 100% more than $350 million. We're talking about Mike Trout number of 400, 450. Yes, Juan Soto is on track to probably surpass Mike Trout as the greatest baseball player to ever live. He is a lot healthier than Mike Trout, so he's already on that path. As long as he stays healthy, he can blow Mike Trout out of the water in that pitcher. But if the Yankees do not want to go into a bidding war, they may want to go with the devil they already know, with is Aaron Judge. Yes, he is injury prone, but let's see what Anzo feels about this.
All right. Hey, guys. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you can hear me. All good?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good to go, brother.
So, yeah, when Israel brought up this topic of let's talk about Aaron Judge or Juan Soto, what I kind of thought about was just the fact that I'm just going to take you off the screen here. Just the fact that I would rather have Juan Soto than Aaron Judge. A lot of people are huge Aaron Judge fans, and you guys really, really love him. But I'm not that crazy. I wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't watching the Yankees season day by day when Aaron Judge took over. I maybe watched him maybe a year, 2 years later as he started playing into it, as I was building up my business. And when I got back into baseball, I was like, oh, wow, this is really interesting to see how this all developed. And a lot of people love this guy, Aaron Judge. But for me, I just really didn't care too much. And so for me, I saw Juan Soto in the World Series and I saw how clutch he was. And I said, okay, I think we know who's the best outfielder in the game right now if you don't have Trout out there with all of his injuries. And so I would rather have Juan Soto. I mean, he turned down a 13-year, $350 million contract. That's about 26 some change a year, secured money from the Washington Nationals. But he said, no, I'm good. So how much do you think he's actually going to be asking for, Israel? Because it seems like he's going to be wanting more than 350 when he becomes a free agent in 2024.
Scary. This is where it becomes scary. If the Yankees had George Steinbrenner, he was alive and well and kicking it, I guarantee you 100% the Yankees will go after him and will give him the money, because George wants to win and he wants the player to do it. And he wouldn't be sad parting ways with Aaron Judge, because here's the thing about this: if the Yankees go after Juan Soto, you cannot You cannot put Aaron Judge in DH. And the reason why is we still have 7 years left of Giancarlo Stanton. That means Giancarlo is going to end his year as the DH for the Yankees. Where what you're going to do is now you're going to have Aaron Judge. And what you're going to do with him, you're going to have to let him go. Obviously, because, you went over the luxury tax. Hal actually stopped being a considerate, budget-friendly Yankee owner and actually kept his father's legacy. So going into that direction. Now, on the question you asked, Anzo, is this guy going to go? He's going to go over $400 million. He's already well known. I'm pretty sure Juan Soto is very acknowledgeable that people are saying he's on path to be better than Mike Trout. So he goes and looks. He's like, okay, Mike Trout's on the Angel. He's not really playing a healthy season. Why not go after getting a better deal and prove that I am much healthier, much better than Mike Trout to land a big-time deal? And that's the part. Now, do I see the Yankees doing it? No, because I know, as I said before, the Yankees. But now a scary thing and a scary factor is if you're a Yankee fan, you know the nut job that's running the Mets, he's not afraid to spend money. He won't be afraid to drop it. We saw it with Max Scherzer. For just a few years, how much he's going to pay Max Scherzer. Imagine what he's going to do to get Juan Soto. He has that mentality. You still have the Dodgers out in L.A. You still have other teams that can give him that deal. So he knows that. And, he wants, and if he really wants to establish a legacy, he's going to want to go to a big media market. That's where his other focus is. He's not just going to go get money and then just go play at the Rockies where no one's going to really see him stand out. He's going to want to be in Philly. He's going to want to be in New York. He's want to be in Boston. He wants to be in Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, Oakland, if Oakland doesn't go to Las Vegas. But he wants that, and that's what he's looking for. He's looking for over $400 million. We know Mike Trout is around $435 million, if I'm not mistaken. So he may even ask Mike Trout number or even a little bit more just to cement himself that he got a better deal.
Got it, Israel. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Awesome. Just keep on going. I'm trying to mess around with the mic a bit. For some reason, it's kind of messing up. But let's talk about how I feel like Yankee fans will react pretty badly to Judge leaving, and especially since the fact that he had that interview, and I'm probably going to make a video on this where he's going to be like basically saying goodbye to Yankee fans if the Yankees don't sign him. And so what team do you think will sign him? And do you really think there's a good chance that he's going to be leaving?
My take on Aaron Judge, right? This is the reason why we're saying if the Aaron Judge, after the comments he said, the Yankees can be like, hey, forget you, and we go after Juan Soto, who's younger and more appealing. We can get more out of him considering 7 or 8 years out of you. I will say this. The Yankees are in a position, say they go after Carlos Correa, they go after Trevor Story, whoever they do, the shortstop, first baseman, and get another pitcher, right? Because we need someone after Cole. After this season, 2023, 2024, they can actually sign Aaron Judge. So I get it. He wants his job security comment. He made that comment saying like, hey, if the Yankees don't want me, I'm going to move on. I'm going to do this. We got to look at it in this picture and look at this aspect. First off, with this MLB lockout, the second that lockout ends, whenever it ends, all right, every team is going to quickly fill up the positions they need, and they're going to quickly sign players. So obviously they're going to go after Carlos Correa. They're going to go after whoever it is they need, the Yankees need right away. Boom. During the season, if he stays healthy, no question the Yankees are going to extend him. I understand his comment, like, hey, he wants, and I look at it as a former job security, he wants to know that the Yankees like him. But, it would be a heartbreak. A lot of people would be heartbroken to see Judge go. And it's like the best way I can compare it for a lot of young fans, it's going to be like if Derek Jeter, for you and I, and so if Derek Jeter left the Yankees after winning in 2000 and 2003, he left and he went to somewhere else. We would be heartbroken. You and I could say that. So I can see kids being heartbroken. I can see a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of people gravitated to him, right? He became the face of the franchise. He became the team player. Obviously, he's became the locker room leader. Ever since Derek Jeter steps away. So I do see it. I do see it. It's going to be a heartbreak. Now, a team that could go after him, we're going to have to say the Mets. I have to now is the most crazy assignment I think I've never said in my wildest owl is like, oh, he's going to leave the Yankees, he can go to the Mets easily. He can go as well to the Dodgers. That's another team. He's obviously a California boy going to LA, nice weather. He can motivate them. He can even go play to his favorite childhood team, which are the San Francisco Giants. They can go after him as well. So we could see that happen. He can go out west to Oakland, Giants, Dodgers, Padres, because he's a California boy. You want to understand he wants to be close home to his family. The other thing, as I said, in the East Coast, no question, the Mets will pick him up. Steve Cohen, what? You think he won't miss an opportunity to sign Judge? It's his way of sticking it to the Yankee fans. That's 100% that approach is going to be. Now, here's the other thing, and this is the other thing. We have the Red Sox. The Red Sox can still offer him that extension that he wants and the deals he wants, so the Red Sox can do it too. So those are the scariest options there if we go in the path of letting Aaron Judge go. Do I think it's going to happen? I'm going to say 75% no. There's a 25% chance. Hal could still got in. Brian Cashman still could have gotten upset. Brian Cashman, near the end of Derek Jeter's career, he was like, well, go find a better deal if you don't want to continue playing the Yankees. He said that to Derek Jeter near the end of Derek Jeter's career. So I wouldn't be surprised he turns around and says the same thing to Judge. Well, if you really don't like what we're offering, go find yourself another deal and walk. Ryan Cashman is not afraid to do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I hear you, Israel. Can you hear me? Everything's good?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Perfect. Yeah, I was just listening to everything that you were just saying right now, and it's very true. Like the fact that Brian Cashman just basically has 0 Fs, right? He does not care about the player or like in the sense of more of who you are. If you're the captain, if he did that to the captain, he'll do that to anyone, especially Judge, who isn't even the captain. So I think definitely there's going to be negotiation. He's a big time player. He brings a lot of revenue, and maybe Brian Cashman will probably be like, okay, like you're good, but you've been injury prone. It's all about business and negotiation. So they're going to bring up all that stuff. And will they keep him? I don't know if they will. Is it worth it? Yeah, I love Aaron Judge as the guy, like as the leader, but is he worth $300 million?
Well, the thing was, he wouldn't get a $300 million deal. He wouldn't, because
how much would you give him?
The max I've seen by Major League Baseball insiders is they say 7 years, $210 million.
But do you think another team would give him $300 million?
Oh yeah, definitely. There is teams out there that will give him the money. There's not a question about it. Aaron Judge, he's the face of baseball. Is obviously because of building his brand being associated to the Yankees. But again, this all comes down to, hey, if Judge really is serious about being a Yankee for life, then he'll take consideration the offer the Yankees made him. And the other thing too, I've always found this as a great lesson. Tom Brady, for obviously all his career highlights basically was a Patriot. Mm-hmm. But one of the key things was for almost 20 years, he didn't really care about his salary. He wanted to make sure the team was built around him so he can have the tools that he needed to win. If Judge takes that approach and says, yeah, I want to make a tool to win, and then let's say he feels like he has 2 more years, but the Yankees aren't going to, by the time he's 38, he feels like he can play 2 more seasons, and he can go off and play 2 seasons with another team if he really wants to do that approach. But if he really is about winning and he wants to bring the World Series to New York, as he says, then he really has to also put himself in a position to say, hey, do I want to win, have the Yankees build a team that's better around me, or do I just want to make money and go play somewhere else?
I don't know. Judge isn't a Yankee fan like growing up.
Well, that's a lot of people. John Carlos Stanton wasn't a Yankee fan. Mike Trout was a Yankee fan. And look at where he's at in Los Angeles making money.
He should have been a Yankee. But, I don't know if there's that loyalty, It's like, look, you look at Robinson Cano, right? He could have been a great Yankee. He would have been like the second baseman, like forever. Yankee fans would have remembered. But then the Yankees offered him a certain amount. Then he went to the biggest builder. Yeah, he went, and then you look at the rest of his career, how it turned out. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Judge is going to be just, hey, get the money, figure it out from there. Maybe go to another big time organization, like you were saying, maybe the Red Sox or something like that, the Mets, and then just cash in and take the money and whatever. He'll be liked by Yankees fans if he comes to play at Yankee Stadium, but I don't know. I don't know if I would give him even 200 million. I'd rather go after a SOTO. I'd rather pay double for a SOTO, have more years to the guy, and just take it from there. But I don't know.
Here's the problem with SOTO, right? He's on paper. Yeah, if you want to win the World Series, you're going to choose SOTO over a Judge. And I'm sorry to any Yankee fan that's going to get offended with this comment, but the problem is you have Garrett Cole, you're still paying. You have Stanton, you're still paying. Now, let's say during the season they go after Carlos Correa and they decide to pay Carlos Correa. Damn. They're not going to have room to go after someone like Juan Soto. They're just not. And obviously, if George Steinbrenner, he would have found the loophole to do it, get it done. Because that was George Steinbrenner to it. He's the reason why they nicknamed the damn Yankees. Because this guy knew what he wanted and what players he wanted to get to win. So, come on, he even tried to convince John Elway not to go play in the NFL and come be an outfielder for the Yankees. Didn't succeed there, but he had the whole PowerPoint presentation, basically, to tell John Elway, come play in New York.
Yeah. So,
but with this whole house thing and, the Yankees are now a budget-considerate team, that's where it becomes, and then it's easier to play that card where Judge, you can put the, word it nicely, convince Judge. He can even say like, hey, we may make you captain, blah, 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 just to convince him to stay and take a lower deal.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'd rather have the shiny new stuff. So I'd rather have the Carlos Correa, Trevor Bauer, just different energy. Like, I don't care if they're bad for the clubhouse, whatever. You had Reggie Jackson, you had A-Rod, you had all these other players that came in there, caused some trouble. It's not all about being Mr. Nice Guy in the clubhouse, and that's great to have. Like, you need a Derek Jeter type guy there, but fuck it, like, just get someone else. Just change up the whole thing. Like, I'm just tired of seeing the same stuff. Like, that's why
obviously the Yankees. One of the concerns, we have shortstop is an issue. We need to figure that out. If they're hiring Anthony Volpe, then you have to go for a shortstop that isn't going to cost you much, but he's solid enough to make the team playoff contenders, even a World Series contender. You're going to take that into consideration, or you want to get rid of your younger prospects so that way you can get out of this. I do believe a trade for Matt Olson is coming once the lockout is over. I feel like Luke Voigt and Torres are going to be a part of that trade to get Matt Olson in. But I feel like the other thing the Yankees have to do is really, really seriously get someone to go after Garrett Cole. We just saw what happened in the wild card game. He blew it. Near the end, he was blowing it. We're going to need someone to be solid after Cole to take it up, because now let's say the Yankees are good enough to be a division series team. Well, because that's what the analysts say. Okay, we make it to the American League division. All right, we get Cole night one. Cole's blessed and he plays a good game. Now we go into night two. Who's going after Cole? Severino's not that guy. Cortez? Yeah, but we really now have to put it. Luis Gil is now, let's say, we really starts now playing on Major Montgomery. So those are things. The Yankees have that. And then the center field. We don't know how Aaron Hick is going to be. We tried to give it to Clint Frazier. What didn't work out? We had to end up having Brett Gardner play more games at center field. And he was just getting paid, if I'm not mistaken, $625,000 for that season. So that's how it looks. So that's how it is. And then after we fix these problems once the MLB lockout's over, then we can talk about the Aaron Judge getting his extension. Yeah, and obviously he still has to prove himself. Not only is that, if he does want to make money, he's still going to have to prove himself to make more, if he's going to make money too. So those are all key facts that are coming into right now in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Israel, and I feel like we hit the what is the saying? The The
Nail on
tail
the
of the
bucket.
donkey, the nail on the donkey.
No, nail on the bucket.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess our closing arguments would be one, I would rather have Soto over Judge. And would you want the same, right?
Yeah, if you're really looking for someone to be a long-term deal, yeah, you have to go with Juan Soto over Judge.
Gotcha.
There's
How
no
much would you
question on
give
that.
him? 400?
I would do the 400, but I have the scary factor. He was gonna want something like Mike Trout. That's the only thing I feel, and he's gonna have to prove himself if he's going to get that money.
Well,
This
he'll
year
be
is
like the
more
next
time
Bryce
for him to prove
Harper.
himself.
He'll be like the next Bryce Harper coming out of there.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like Bryce Harper gets the money and then doesn't do nothing within the first.
Yeah, well,
Even
I mean,
though
he's
Bryce
gonna be
Harper,
really
believe it
good.
or not, was the best player for the Philadelphia Phillies, he just hasn't been that standout as it was as a
Yeah.
national.
Yeah. Okay, so we got that, and then from there we also obviously there's other little points, whether having like a number two behind Cole, um, and other things that we just talked about. But besides that, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Hopefully, we stop having the childish behavior of the owners and the players because it's ridiculous. It's now known that just a few days ago they spent 5 hours, but the other times when they meet, it was less than 20 minutes,
Damn.
and that's sad. And that just shows that. Well, we're hoping that every time they meet, we're gonna hear positive news. No, they just go in, they sit down. This is what I want. This is what I want. Okay, I don't like it. I don't like it. Goodbye. And I want to say this: Robert Manfred does not hate baseball. He's the mouthpiece for the owner. His job is basically. So while the media likes to paint him as the bad guy, he's not the bad guy. It's the owner. It's not the president of the union, the bad guy. It's the players. They're being the bad guys. They're being stubborn. The owners and the players, and the guys who are just going in saying, "This is what we got. This is what we come to agreement." And then both sides not agreeing. The only thing now we know is universal DH is going to happen this season.
Yeah, and the draft, right? There's gonna be
Yep,
a
and
lot
the
of
draft, it's just going to be lottery style.
Damn. I mean, at least those changes, I mean, will help me and MLB the show so that I can, be able to choose the Miami Marlins and build them up to a World Series team if I get tired of the Yankees. So,
Exactly.
and then I got Derek Jeter right there. So, but no, I mean, what else difference does it does? I mean, maybe in the World Series. I mean, I guess if you're an NL team, it kind of helps you out a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out. I mean, hopefully, it looks like they're making a little bit more progress. So
Exactly.
we'll just have to see, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so where can they follow you, Israel?
Well, you guys can follow me on Twitter right here. Israel, as you can see the handler on the screen. That is my Twitter handler. You guys can feel free to follow me there, and also send me questions, any comments you guys like, as well in the comment section below. We do read them, and if you guys put a good question out there, hey, we can just turn that into a topic here on the 4Train podcast. And
Awesome.
how about you, Anzo?
Yeah, you can check me out at Anzo Media on Instagram and Twitter. I am a few subscribers away from 1,000. So make sure to go to my YouTube channel in the description below. Make sure to subscribe as I come out with weekly YouTube videos regarding obviously baseball content and also Yankees. So make sure to check that out. And if you want $20 off on SeatGeek, make sure to check out the code down below, Anzo, ANZO, so you can get $20 off so that when the season does get started, you have tickets to go somewhere and you save some money. So that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you watched all the way till the end. If you did, make sure to comment down below and let us know your thoughts about this video. Do you want Judge? Do you want Soto? What do you feel? Do you think we need another second arm in the rotation that's going to be solid and not someone coming from an injury? Let us know down below. Like Israel said, we always try to read all the comments and get back to you guys. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to like this video. And this was Anzo, and that is Israel. And we will see you next time on the 4 Train podcast.
See ya.
See ya.